This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
It's great to have you on board here on a Football Friday. Busy hour on tap. We'll hit a lot of the marquee games. Week 10 National Football League. Busy night tonight in the NBA. It's a cup night. And you better believe that we are loaded with a bunch of props in that sport. Bob Condotta is going to join the program in 30 minutes. He's covered the Seahawks for a long time. As a guy who has watched him play now for as long as he has, is he in that camp of this team can win the entire thing? Like the Seahawks are the bee's knees. And Sam Darnold, who was going to be a throwaway in the offseason. Seattle will take him, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
Might pull off the unthinkable of winning the MVP and taking the Seattle in a deep run here in the playoffs. My goodness. Some numbers here. Arizona against their division since 2020. Again, most of that's going to be with Kyler Murray. Not great, 13 and 20 ATS. But again, this is where typically, and he's not playing in the game, but Kyler Murray has been good, and the Cardinals have been good as a team. Road neutral game since 2019, 34 and 22 ATS. And as an underdog since 2021, they're 34 and 19 ATS. This is the exact spot where you want Arizona, but now they're missing both Melton and rookie Will Johnson in the secondary.
Yeah, you're coming off the Monday night road game, travel as well. Short travel, but still. And Seattle off the easy win. That would concern me a little bit. I mean, they were perfect, what they did against Washington. And they were so good, and everyone's been pumping their tires as well. But the success they've had against this team and how they've done so well, albeit much of it against Murray, but I think they can maybe force some mistakes. And maybe the Brissett thing, while it's a great story, maybe it's run its course. And it maybe just comes down to reality and doesn't have a great performance. I could see that against this nasty defense, and maybe they take it away here, and Seattle does what they want offensively.
You know, when you look at the advanced numbers on this team, I think I might regret, and I have the Rams, so I don't want to add too many teams here. I have the Rams and the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. But the Seahawks now for a little bit during this year, including right now, up-to-date numbers, I'd like to know where the weakness is because they are...
That's Bob. That's a good question for Bob. Chart says they don't have one.
Yep. They are phenomenal. Darnold, the passing game is as good as it gets. The defense is phenomenal. And, oh, by the way, like when you look at DVOA numbers with special teams, they're number one. Number one in the entire league. And that, by the way, in a team in their division who they have to play twice yet is one of the worst teams with the special teams. And they are the worst team when it comes to extra points and field goals, the Rams. It's a huge difference, Pauly.
Well, maybe they got it fixed, though, with thicker kicker. My comeback would be why the issues at home. Why the issues at home the last couple of years. And
fair point.
Also incredible what McDonald's done, 11-1 on the road. But you lose week one, should have won the game. You lose to the Niners 17-13. That's where you got the tipped catch, Tonga's touchdown, and then Darnold turned it over late where Bosa came in. Great job against the Steelers. Blew out the Saints. Thursday night game. Got by Arizona. Wonky game. Couldn't put them away, though.
Weird game.
But this is the one, right? And maybe this is the one that changed things. And this is why I'm still bothered by the Mayfield MVP numbers and the Bulls Coach of the Year numbers. Who beat them?
Yeah.
Who couldn't stop them?
Yep.
Mayfield. 38-35 Tampa on the road. Mayfield went off. So did Darnold. Quarterback play was stupendous in that game.
Well, that game was one of the best of the entire year.
It was. But that goes back to why, if Seattle's so good, and they are, but Tampa goes in there and wins and scores 38 on this great defense. Now, McDonald's comeback, and if you watch Sunday night, they said it. He felt embarrassed about that, and it was bothered him that Tirico and the guys brought it up to him. But he also said that was a turning point. About this can't happen again. Let's fix this stuff, and here we go. And they've been right. 20-12 against Jacksonville, 27-19 against the Texans, misleading score, 4 turnovers in that game, a defensive touchdown, and then they obliterated Washington on Sunday. So you're right, it's coming up, and that also, that is when they have the Rams at home. That is a Thursday night only.
Yeah, oh yeah,
on Amazon Prime. That is it. So some tough games coming up, no doubt. You win this one, the Rams are on deck. You have the Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Rams, Panthers, and 49ers to close. That's tough, but it's right there for you, and it's a great race in the NFC, not only for that division, 1 seed, And does JSN go off every single game? That's the other thing. But
they have a lot of games I can't wait to watch. I mean, the Rams games for sure, but how about hosting the Vikings and the Colts in 2 out of 3 weeks? 13 and 15. A Sam Darnold revenge game against the Vikings, and then it may have, who knows, weather, rain, wind against the Colts, something like that coming up in December.
That's right.
But I want to know what that Colts offense is going to look like against this defense too. 12-1 to win the Super Bowl is pretty much right around the best number that you can find right now.
Got to be on Harrison props again. Again, we've mentioned several times the rapport with Brissett and the Mutual Admiration Society. Also appears DeMarcado is going to be a bigger part of the offense, and he had a lot of carries against Dallas, and I have to go back because it's won every time but one. Now they're up to 99.5. Okay, but still JSN over, and our Opta AI says he goes for $1.15.
Yeah, and the Opta AI has been spot on with him the entire year.
He has, yes.
Also in that division, what a weekend it is for the NFC West, that game. And you also have Rams playing at the 49ers. We had Evan Abrams on from Action Network 90 minutes ago. The numbers here between these two coaches when they face off, Shanahan and McVay, they have played and faced off 18 times. The dog is 14-4 ATS in those 18 games. Since 2019, the dog is 13-1 ATS. Shanahan 8-0 ATS in that spot against the Rams. The Niners have always done a great job here in the spot against the Rams. Rams are better, but 4.5 points better?
Well, I know. I disagree with you on this one, though. I laid it. I think they're going to win, and I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to slow down their offense.
I hope you're right.
And I know they got the revenge and what happened on the Thursday night. Maybe they just looked past them and came out slow. They were down 2 scores, and then the huge fumble at the 1. Mac Jones, again, they hope that Purdy will be able to back them up. But I just think too many injuries here. Number 1, McCaffrey props over again with the receiving yards. He's way too low. Low 40s? He's gone over every single game but one. But I just think the Rams are the better team. And with all the 49ers injuries, that the Rams are going to get the win and might be comfortable in this one. But then now that they've seen Mac, no surprises here. And the thing I can't get away from, why? San Francisco 1-8 ATS in the third quarter. And 1-14 ATS off a win. That's bizarre.
Off the win. That's really weird.
And I know, and the other thing, with this being at home, but I was watching this game last week. How about 49er Nation? You see all the Niner fans at the Giants game? They take over every stadium they go to.
Paul, I'm telling you, I think it was when Harbaugh was the coach. They always had like these East Coast trips. They played the Jets one year when the Jets, I think, were actually somewhat good. I'm 35,000, 40,000 Niners fans at MetLife.
Incredible. All the red. Incredible. I didn't like how they looked against Houston. They couldn't get a first down in that first half, and that was ugly. I didn't like how they looked against Atlanta. McCaffrey was the MVP of that game. They won 20-10. We knew that they were going to go up and down the field, though, against the Giants, who can't stop anything, and the rushing attack was so good. And then you got blasted by Tampa, too. So I just think with the step up in competition here, that the Rams will be ready and the Rams will take them out by more than 5.
Let me give you another one here. Is this number out of control? The Ravens are up to 4.5 at some books on the road against the Minnesota Vikings.
Good game. Very intriguing game.
I am.
So you got a lot. Oh, good. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm intrigued by the points here.
So every Viking game has gone over but one. I think it goes over again. If the Ravens lose one more game, they go under their win total for the season. Lamar 24-3 against the NFC, although he's lost his last 2 against them. But they're finally healthy. They're healthy on defense. They've turned it around defensively. They've allowed 39 points in the last 3 games. I think they can frustrate McCarthy and maybe take it away here. And the question is, though, who goes off? Is it likely or is it Andrews? Because Minnesota struggled against tight ends, and the last 2 weeks, Laporta had a big game, 90 yards and a touchdown, and Gadsden had 77 yards and a touchdown early in the second quarter. And the other thing is, if LaFleur is going to bring the heat, good luck against this outfit.
I know.
Can you slow down Henry? And are the big shots going to be there to Flowers and some of the other guys? And our Opta AI likes Bateman in this game, too, for Baltimore to go over.
As does Charch in this game. He brought him up as an anytime touchdown score yesterday on the program at around plus 350. So last week, for the Vikings to do what they did to Minnesota, to a Detroit, I don't think many people saw that one coming. That was ultra impressive. McCarthy was fine. I don't think he was spectacular, and he wasn't like Bo Nix bad in that game. But it was the defense getting guys back, such as Andrew Van Ginkel, who made an impact right away in that game, and that dude's a complete stud. Cashman now getting healthier again. He's the guy that might be there as he gets healthier to cover tight ends in this spot. But I get it. Like the numbers at vsin.com that you can find from Steve Makinen, he runs every single team every week, all these matchups. The Vikings have not been good ATS at home. So we think about that as like one of the loudest stadiums in the entire league. Doesn't matter. They're not great at covering numbers. But now for the Ravens to go there, some books they have to win by 5 or more. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe last week and getting all those guys back was a sign of right? Because this is like peak Baltimore now that we're talking about. They were just completely down in the dumps a couple of weeks ago. I get it. No Lamar, he's back. They killed the Dolphins. Yadi freaking da. Miami's
they were great
terrible.
Against the Bears. The defense played well against the Bears. Huntley hung in there and looked good. Yeah.
Yeah. They're to their credit.
Yeah.
Their defense, their rush defense has gone in recent weeks from 24th or 25th to 4th in the league.
Well, if they win this, they're really in business here. Now, if they lose, it gets interesting. Because you're right, the AFC is stacked, and Jacksonville has such an easy schedule.
Right.
Because after this, it's Cleveland, the Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. Go win all those games. You're probably going to have to. And then you close New England, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh. So you put yourself in a big hole here. And this really gets interesting if they lose. I don't think it's going to happen then.
I don't think so either.
With
I think
tiebreakers, and then you probably say best case is 10-7.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to do it. That's assuming you sweep the Steelers.
Sure. This feels like a do or die week for them, big time.
Yes.
Right? Up next, A.J. Green in the NBA is 8-0 over his three-point prop. I've bet him every single game, including tonight, but I do have a big concern. Find out what that is next on Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Fun night tonight in the association. Ton of games. Cup night overall. Bunch of prop bets to run down here as well. And if you've been listening to this show, watching it since the beginning of the NBA season, you know that I've been all about A.J. Green for the Milwaukee Bucks. Derry Bird, betting his three-pointers over every single game. He's 8-0. And tonight they were offering plus 132 as well on him to go over 2.5 made threes. Automatic play, had to do it against a Bulls team that can play in some super entertaining games. I'm a little confused here at the price again, why it hasn't moved at all. In fact, it's gone up with recent games. But here is my concern overall with A.J. Green. And either when I watch the games or I'm tracking him online, he leaves inevitably like early on in the first quarter. I'm like, he's out again? What the hell happened? The reason why is because he gets into foul trouble. So he has picked up at least 4 fouls in 5 of his last 6 games. I don't know if that's because teams are targeting him on defense to get him out of there. They know that he's prone to fouls. But if this prop is going to continue going over, he needs to avoid the foul trouble, obviously, and play right around his average, teetering on a little bit shy of 30 minutes per game. Last year in this arena, he made 2.5 threes per game. That's what the average was in 4 meetings against Chicago last season. And I got to keep it up. I hope that the volume actually ticks up as well with the guy, because it hasn't been as I was hoping. I thought he would take 8, 9, 10 threes a game. Not exactly that high, but he's still going over 2.5 every. So plus 132, here, bam, take my money. I got to bet it again. That's one bet that I have.
Ride the streak, yeah, ride the streak.
Mm-hmm. Now, if he keeps going, the plus money is going to evaporate at some point, much like this guy. And I was hoping, because his last game, he was even money. That was a nice winner on Sam Merrill. Well, that money and that price has disappeared. So Merrill on the season is averaging 8.8 3-point attempts per game. That includes a game where he only played 18 minutes and he got hurt. He still took 6 in that game, but he's making 4.5 per game. He was 4 and 5 against Philadelphia in the last game. I played over 2.5 tonight at minus 130. But this Cavaliers offense now getting healthy. We're seeing what they're doing offensively by just crushing the opponents and putting up a ton of points. And tonight they should be able to get whatever they want. And I'm including Merrill in that conversation against a really bad team in Washington here. So I had to play Merrill over. I'll give you one more. Look at that. They're laying 14 points.
Yeah.
I played Scotty Barnes over 1.5 made threes as well. At even money, he's taking a lot more threes. The coach is open to him and other players on the team. Biggs taking threes. People have been pushing since last year for him to take a lot more threes, and he's actually, I think, 6-2 to the over his 3-point prop on the year. Scotty Barnes for Toronto. At even money, give me 2 Utah. That's what he needs. And they were favored, by the way, in this game on the opener. They're now a dog, even though there was no Trae Young with the Atlanta Hawks, and the total is 234. So those are my 3 guys that I have 3-point props on tonight, Pauly.
It's too bad Thomas is out because he's been on a sick run with his rebounds under. That one's unfortunate. And
how bad's that team going to be?
Yeah, I know. And Reeves has already been ruled out for Saturday with the Lakers. We don't have the Sixers playing until tomorrow. Check out the prop analyzer at vsin.com. Oubre 8-0 over his threes prop, and he's gone over his points every game as well. Jaren Jackson 8-1 under his points. Derek White 8-1 under. Miles Turner 7-1 under. Randall 7-1 over. Rebounds. White 7-2 under. Alexander Walker 5-0 under. Castle finally had an under against the Lakers. He's 6-1 over. The assists, Cam Johnson 7-0 under for the Nuggets. Jackson again 7-1 under for Memphis. They take on Dallas. Middleton 6-0 under. Ball 6-0 over, which is a surprise. And there was one more, I thought. No, that's okay. 3-pointers. This is big. We talked about this the other night as well. Very surprising. Pritchard and Derek White, both 8-1 to under.
Oh, yeah.
With their threes. George for Utah, 7-1 under. Quickly 7-1 under. Love to see this. Wembenyama, 6-1 under. Don't take him. You're 7-4. Go down low. He's changed his game. It's been great. And PRA, Jaren Jackson, 9-0 to the under.
9-0 overall PRA.
And maybe it's why, Ja got ticked off that they're shifting towards him and gave him all the money or what. Who knows what's going on with that guy. But he's unhappy and this got suspended, and go ask the coaching staff, and I've lost my joy, all this other stuff. But Jackson, 9-0 to the under. Cam Johnson, 7-0 to the under. Derek White, again, 8-1 to the under. Randall, George, Levine, Giddey, either 6-1 or 7-1 to the over.
Yeah, Giddey now is like 40.5 tonight against this Bucks team. 40.5.
I could see this one being way up there with the scoring. An entertaining game and just phenomenal. What do you think your OKC coming up there? You're going against Sacramento, and it's from 8.5 up to 11.5, and a 6-point move on the total.
There's no Dort in the game for Oklahoma City, and Sabonis is going to miss for Sacramento.
Yeah.
Well, I think they blast him.
They should.
As long as Dort's going to be like the only guy out, I think they'll probably run Sacramento out of the gym. And the market believes that as well. To bet them up that high is now 11-point favorites here. Don't you think it's going to kind of go that way?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's another one here I'll point out with the props. From your club, your hometown. Dante DiVincenzo was 1 of 3 from downtown in the first game of the year against Portland. He only played 20 minutes. Since then, he's averaging more than 30 minutes per game, and he has made at least 3 threes in every single game since the opening night.
All
and
right.
In 3 games in November, Pauly, he's averaging almost 33 minutes, 21 points, and he has taken 12 threes per game. He's made on average 5.3. And at last check, his prop for tonight was still 2.5. Now, heavily juiced over, but this has been a guy here lately that if you're laddering his props, then you have been cashing some pretty nice tickets because he's getting to 5 every single night. Yeah, he's had a minimum of 5 last 3 games, and he had 6 in one of them. That was against Brooklyn. Tonight, laying a big number against a really bad Utah team.
3.5-point move on the total there, up to 233.5. Surprised Houston's taking money on the road against the Spurs. Big one tonight.
A little bit, yeah.
Up to 4.5. They've been great offensively. And now we'll see the Spurs now after a couple losses and what Wemby and others said about, they're throwing the double team at me and we have to do a better job, especially closing out.
And they're not going to get Fox back until tomorrow,
the
Spurs. But so now the Rockets, who are one of the best teams in the league defensively a year ago, they've kind of flipped it this year because the offense is so good. And Durant has been a catalyst here for the offense and how good this team has been. But now you got to win by at least 5 points at some of these books overall. And his prop tonight is 24.5. Kevin Durant, Opta AI projections, and vsin.com/NBA props have him going under 22.4 overall. In fact, he's going under pretty much all of his numbers according to their projections for this game. Spurs are a good outfit. I know that they're down still a couple of guys right now, but this is a big game for that young team. And maybe Houston's just going to be that good, and maybe they're going to be the team that challenges Oklahoma City this year in the playoffs.
The Lakers catch a break tomorrow because you got Atlanta on a back-to-back. I hope the Lakers do the right thing and don't get after it tonight, as they got there early and maybe go to the clubs.
What's Luka?
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock they play. 5 o'clock our time. They play the Hawks on NBA TV.
What do you think Luka's prop is going to be?
Boy,
34.5
without Reeves again.
Yeah.
The PRA 40, 11, and 9 on the season.
And his 3-point prop will probably be 4.5, I'm guessing, or 3.5, heavily juiced
over.
over.
A lot of them, right? He's going to take a lot of them. And every Laker game but one has gone over. And the Bulls also play the Cavs.
Wow.
That's another big one.
How about...
go ahead.
How about in this Heat game tonight? Based on Spoelstra's house burning down, nobody was in there. Nobody got hurt.
Ball's doubtful. Yeah, he wasn't there. Yep.
Sexton doubtful. Miller obviously out. And no Bam. He's out as well. I know the Heat are playing at this unbelievable pace to begin the year, but 235 without that much firepower involved here potentially? High number?
I swear last night I saw 243. I thought that's what I saw. But then all the news are coming out. But no, I can't do it. Based on how bad Charlotte is defensively and Miami #1 in pace, I can't do it.
Knippel, props over then?
Yeah.
If Ball doesn't play, maybe his PRA, he'll take 10 threes in this game. But again, he's juiced up there like DiVincenzo with the price right now on over 2.5 made threes. Ball is, did you run this down?
Doubtful.
He's doubtful, but he's also, I think, undefeated to his assist prop.
That's right. Yes. I got that one in there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm shocked by that because he's a chucker.
Well, though I know, but his PRA has been so good overall. I mean, the guy, he'll take 15 threes in a game, but he can dish it out as well. It tells you how many possessions they have when he's in there. They play at a pretty good pace, too. I really wanted everybody to be healthy in this game just to fire on the over then.
Well, I wanted everyone healthy in the late game, Golden State and Denver. The first meeting was all time.
It was great.
Gordon had 50, overtime thriller. Phenomenal.
Yep. Up next, Bob Condotta joins the program. He has covered the Seahawks for many, many years. A ton of hype surrounds his team halfway through the season. Is he all in? Where's their weakness? We'll ask him coming up next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha made with Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Sounds absolutely delicious. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks. More National Football League Week 10, specifically the Seahawks and the Cardinals. As we head out to the progressive guest line, Bob Condotta is kind enough to join us. He has covered the Seahawks for a long time for the Seattle Times. Bob, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good, yeah. How you guys doing?
Doing really well.
Good,
there is a lot of hype regarding the Seahawks team now. And the numbers, I think, bear that out. When you look at advanced metrics like DVOA, for example, they're one of the best teams DVOA-wise in like a generation. We've had guests on this program as recently as yesterday say they're absolutely winning the Super Bowl. Darnold might win the MVP. Are you all in like some of those people are?
Yeah, they're certainly playing really well. I mean, the defense is something that we thought going into the year should be really good, and so that's not really necessarily a surprise. But they have played. They haven't had any drop off there, and they're probably better a little bit up front. I mean, when you're really good on the defensive line, and they are, you can stay really good on defense. The big X factor was Darnold, and was he going to be able to play to the same level he did last year at Minnesota and basically be a better team than maybe Geno Smith had been last year or would have been this year. And, so far that's happened. I think that's the big thing you kind of just keep wondering about is can he continue to play at this pace? He's, 70% of his passes, leading basically from week one, they've been leading the NFL in yards per pass, which, a lot of people will tell you is always the most significant offensive stat you can have. And, so they've been really good at that. So, it feels so wide open, and then not just the NFC, but the NFL as a whole. So, when you watch what the Seahawks have done, there's no reason to think they can't have the same expectations of anybody else in the NFL.
Is there an area that you think they're vulnerable or have a weakness?
They're big. The one glaring weakness they have is their running game on offense. I think they're 31st in yards per carry this week at 3.7, and it's never really. They've kind of had some fits and starts here and there in getting it going. A couple of games it's been not bad for them. Kenneth Walker has been able to kind of reel off some big runs at some key times, but it hasn't been as consistent as they wanted it to be at all. And they've had a couple of games when, they kind of struggled, especially like the first Arizona game is kind of an example when their running game, they couldn't just run the clock out on offense the way they wanted to. And they ended up having to win that one with a last second field goal. And, even the Jacksonville game a couple of weeks ago, they ended up giving the ball back to Jacksonville at the end because they couldn't just run it out on offense. So that's kind of the one big thing that, if you're really pointing at something, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might have to nitpick a little bit, but you're probably right. So based on that, but also when you consider the passing game, which has been absolutely elite and some of the best numbers in the entire league, and this is probably a good problem they have again, would you say the defense might be a little bit better than the offense overall?
Statistically, they're right about the same. They're each fifth in points, the offense is fifth in points scored and the defense is fifth in points allowed. The defense is, really good against the run and they've been really good against the pass. And, I think the defense is probably a little bit ahead. But that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Their defense was really good the second half of last year. I think that probably went under the radar a little bit by a lot of people. But, when they made they made some pretty significant personnel changes at the midway point of last year. And from that point forward, they won 6 of their last 8. And, basically we're top 5 in points allowed and rushing yards allowed and total yards allowed and all that. And, so they've just picked up where they left off on that end of the ball.
What do you expect this week against Arizona as the Cardinals have been playing better football lately? And a big part of that is because, new quarterback now, Jacoby Brissett, and that's the guy that this team is going to get to face on Sunday.
Yeah, historically, this has been one of the weirdest series that the Seahawks have ever had. There was that whole period from like 2013 to 2020 when the road team basically won every game, and it was just kind of a weird series that way. But the Seahawks have won the last 8, and the game down there, they controlled it pretty well, and then just those last 2, kind of just suddenly Arizona out of the blue scored 2 touchdowns on their last 2 possessions to tie the game, and the Seahawks had to go down and make a game-winning drive to pull it out. Brissett's a completely different guy stylistically. He's not going to run around quite the way Kyler Murray does, which is something they've always had they've had some issues through the years with Murray and giving up some big plays to him, but they've always been able to beat him. So. It will be a little bit different with Brissett. He's going to put a little bit more pressure, probably just throwing the ball and all that. So, we'll see kind of how that works.
We'll get to JSN in a second, but to your thoughts on the Shaheed trade and the impact he can have now that they could be down 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, they're probably going to be down 3, Young and Bobo, and then probably Torrey Horton as well. So, yeah, he's going to get thrown right into the fire there. The good thing and part of the reason they made the trade is that he played last year in New Orleans when Clint Kubiak, who's now Seattle's offensive coordinator, was the offensive coordinator there. So, it'll be we talked to him after practice today, and he said he felt like it'd be a pretty quick acclimation to it and all that. So I think he's going to play quite a bit Sunday. So, he's a guy that I think they just, because of the familiarity a lot of the coaches have with him, they felt like he'd be a good long-term fit for this team. He's on an expiring contract, but he's already said he wants to stay and sign a new deal this offseason. And I think that's what they want to do with him. And, and for now, I think you'll probably see him return punts on Sunday. And then, he's probably going to have to get right out there and play alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp quite a bit on Sunday. So, it'll be fun to kind of see how that comes together.
Do you just think it's sheer talent or chemistry or coaching, how JSN can have 100 yards in every single game and where the ball's going and you can't stop it?
Yeah, well, there's a guy who had like 332 yards in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. So, I mean, yeah, he was the first receiver taken in the draft the year the Seahawks took him. So, it's not necessarily a secret that people thought he could be a good NFL receiver. But yeah, it's really been, his rookie year, his rookie year is kind of consistent, but never really had any really big flash games or anything. And people were kind of wondering a little bit, was he going to really be that good? But yeah, it's kind of been, the consistency that he's had, 4 straight 100-yard games, and I think 6 100-yard games overall, has really been something. And, that was part of why they wanted to go get Shaheed, is that they feel like, he's just kind of a flat burner kind of guy. JSN's fast, but he's not necessarily elite fast. And so I think they felt like putting Shaheed together with him and throwing another guy out there who at any time could just get wide open deep, and pairing that with Smith and Jigba and Cup will make it that much harder to defend all that. But JSN's just been, he kind of had one rough, kind of the season opener was actually a little rough for him, I guess. But since then, he's really been phenomenal. Yeah, and at his current pace, by the way, he might set the all-time receiving yards record for a single season. Bob, you're around this team all the time. Do you know if that's a thing in the locker room? Like, are players talking about that? Oh, for sure. I mean, you definitely notice it. I don't think it's like a stated goal, or nobody's got 2,000 written on a board anywhere or anything. But yeah, I mean, these guys follow the NFL. So, I mean, they're in the league, so they definitely know what kind of pace he's on and what he's doing and everything. But the broader picture is obviously winning. I mean, that's what everybody wants. So as long as it pays off in winning and doesn't detract from that, I think everybody's all for it. I would imagine. I think in general, they feel like the offense will work a little better if they're not quite so dependent on just one receiver all the time. And you kind of saw that last week. I mean, they felt like, part of the reason Torrey Horton got those 2 touchdowns was Washington was doubling Smith and Jigba a few times, and they were able to take advantage of that. And so, that's kind of what they want it to be. So I don't think there'll be any forcing the ball to the JSN to get the record or anything like that. But of course, you sort of know what kind of pace he's on. What's the strongest opinion that you might have on the team overall right now? Would it be they're going to win the NFC? Darnold can pull off the MVP. McDonald's going to be the coach of the year, or JSN wins offensive player of the year? Of those, I don't think McDonald's can win coach of the year, because unless Indianapolis really falls apart, because I think he's probably got it there. I mean, of those, I'd go with JSN as offensive player of the year. I mean, if he really can break Calvin Johnson's record and possibly get 2,000 yards, I mean, it'd be kind of hard to ignore that. And MVP is another thing that's tough to do. There's always a few other guys out there. I mean, in their own division, Matthew Stafford's putting up crazy numbers as well. So of those, I guess I would probably lean toward JSN being able to keep that pace up and win that award. Hey Bob, that was some terrific insight. We really appreciate the time. Enjoy the game this weekend. All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye. There you go. Follow Bob on X. He's at BCONDOTTA. Bob Condotta has covered the Seahawks for many years for the Seattle Times. All right, so they are talking about that. Figured that would be the case, but no 2,000-yard goal or anything like that posted like the believe sign at Ted Lasso.
You were on vacation. Charch came in studio in the summer, and his favorite bet was JSN over 950. He's on 948 right now.
Oh my God.
How about that?
Wow.
What a call. And then we went to break, and Humans is like, oh, I love that bet. That's crazy. That's a good call. So whether it's on a billboard or on a blackboard, whatever, he's going to get there anyways, I think. He's so good.
Maybe. I think we have an entire segment coming up of best bets for the weekend. A lot to talk about here with in-pocket plays next.
On coke if his girlfriend was not dumb.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your unborn children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
A bizarre game last night, to say the least. More penalties than first downs and points. It was ugly. And Bowers, 1 catch. So all those Bowers props, no chance in that one. And boy, that was something. I mean, it should have been at least 17-0 Raiders early on.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you had a punt blocked off the face mask. You had a punter with the yips. You had a quarterback who could barely move. They keep throwing Geno back in there. Nix was all over the place. Peyton refused to run the ball. The 3rd and 1 play, followed by the 59-yard field goal that wasn't even close, and 35-mile-per-hour winds.
I don't even know that field goal was good from like 45 yards.
Way short. Way short.
Died in like the front of the end zone.
Oh.
I hated watching the game. Who didn't?
Oh, can you imagine? I know that's survivor angle. I mean, it's just you have to stomach and sit through that. And like, am I going to get knocked out here? And it's
being in a torture chamber for 3.5 hours.
VGK Tampa first period over, 10-1 run, 11-1 run. Yeah, 10-1 run head to head when they get together. That's a winner. And goal in the first 10, another winner with Ottawa. Ottawa, yes, on the road, 7-0. Follow Ian Duncan and also Chris Otto for all those great numbers. NHL first period goal in the first 10 as well. All right, going to be busy here. Broncos, 1 seed, 5-1. I know they're fugazi, but it's an easy schedule. And imagine if they can somehow get by the Chiefs next week. UNLV, Colorado State over, 62.5. Rebels, no defense. They can score. High score. I don't mind that. The Air Force over again, coming back with them, too. That's up to 66, though, against San Jose State. The marquee game tomorrow morning took 10 with BYU. There's 10.5s now. No respect for the Cougs. Love this Texas Tech team, but that's a lot of points. Chargers, Steelers, over 3.5 made field goals. JSN over 99.5 yet again. Our Opt AI says he's going for $120. Pierce has gone over every single game for the Colts. Let's ride that. He's 54.5 in the Berlin game. McCaffrey has gone over his receiving every single game but one. He's 49.5. Gadsden could go off against Pittsburgh. Warren had a good game. Steelers had issues against the tight end, what Fant did as well. Gadsden over in the Sunday night. Also, both teams to make a 33-yard field goal. $1.20, $1.30, shop it. And Jacksonville, longest made field goal of the game. I think that's a good bet with Little going. That's a 3-way, though. Try to find, you want to avoid that because there's shenanigans like no field goal or the same length. It's a loser. But it's Cam Little against Matthew Wright, who they just acquired, and he's on his 3rd team. You can trust Little, and there should be a lot of field goals. I think Jacksonville gets it done. Davis Mills is on a 5-19-1 run straight up in his career. And I know he was in a tough spot, but they couldn't get a first down against Denver last week. And Denver shouldn't have won that game either. So I think Jacksonville, even though I don't think they're that good, and with Thomas out as well, I think they'll find a way to win a low-scoring game. Laying it with the Rams and revenge. Love this Rams team. But that 1-14 stretch, Niners on a 1-14 ATS run, coming off a loss. Chiefs, money line against the Broncos. Look ahead. That's available right now after what you watched last week. I mean, you couldn't move it against the Raiders. What's going to happen against Spags? Waddle over, the only thing that's working for Miami. He's 68.5. Could be playing catch-up, too, and forced to throw. I can't imagine Miami's going to stop the Bills' rushing attack or stop anything coming up Sunday. May over rushing yards as well, what should be a fun game against Mayfield. Longest rush is getting up there, 14.5 as well. So there we go with all the plays. Good luck.
Have a weekend, Pauly. Jalen Green.
Oh, yeah.
What a debut last night for the Suns. Bet over 13.5 points, laid $1.06. Jalen Green for Phoenix last night. This was with Grayson Allen in the lineup, by the way. 29 points, 10 of 20 from the floor, 6 of 13 from downtown. He was plus 30 in 23 minutes. I wonder where his number is going to... It probably opens like 19.5, no joke. Maybe a little bit shy of that in his next game. All right, pending. Eagles plus 116. At that midweek against the Packers on Monday night. They're down to a 1-point dog. They're now minus 105 on the money line. Come on, let's go. I don't want to be a CLV champ here. Want to win that one in pocket. Drake May, most passing yards overall full year, 16-1. Walter Nolan, Arizona. Debuted against the Cowboys Monday night. Was fantastic. 75-1 defensive rookie of the year in a market that is completely open in my opinion. Thunder to win the Cup. 11-point favorites tonight against Sacramento. Again, Minnesota is by far like the second best team in that Cup. And they get Minnesota, by the way, at home. Bet them at plus 225. All right, more plays coming up tonight. This is a bad number. People are going the other way with Scotty Barnes. You can now grab plus 115. Hey, he's taking more threes. It goes back to last year, shooting the ball better. Coach here is like, yeah, I want him to take more threes. I'm okay with my bigs taking more threes. Total's 234 tonight. Even money, I put over 1.5 made threes from him. Sam Merrill, Cavaliers. Should absolutely spank Washington tonight. He's back from an injury, second game back now. He takes almost 9 a game. He makes 4.5 a game, over 2.5 minus 130. And you know I'm on A.J. Green again tonight. Over 2.5 at plus 132 for the Bucks. He's 8-0 so far on the season. Other plays, Drake May against the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is phenomenal. One of the best rush defenses in the entire league. 2 guys have gone off so far the entire year. One, Jahmyr Gibbs. Other one, Kenneth Walker. Other than that, they've shut down everybody. So I don't think the Patriots and Travion Henderson will be able to move the ball much. However, quarterbacks can run against Tampa, and you can also pass against them. High total here. I think we're going to get points. Drake May over 274.5 passing and rushing yards combined. Xavier Legette, anytime touchdown, plus 388 for Carolina. McMillan is questionable. He's had the same amount of red zone targets as McMillan. I think he's going to pop in the end zone at some point as they take on the Saints. Bad football team. Rashad White, under 47.5 rushing yards for the Buccaneers. I laid 45 cents with that. Patriots are the single best run defense against running backs throughout the entire year. And I think one running back has gone, maybe 2. And 49 is the most they've given up to any running back this entire year. In the same game, Hunter Henry over 34.5 receiving yards. College football, some intel here. Clemson had a great week of practice. They really want to beat Florida State. Klubnik should be good to go. Laid $1.20 on the money line. And tonight in college basketball, Kentucky takes on Valparaiso. This total is pretty high for this game. I have a half unit on Valpo's team total under 62.5. I think Kentucky's defense is going to be borderline fantastic this year. So I think it'll be a struggle as well for Valpo to get more than 63 points in this game. Is that it?
Henry?
Maybe some more.
Hey, Henry?
Hunter Henry's on
Hunter
there.
Henry,
Yep. Mentioned the A.J. Green and, Rashid Shaheed. Over 30.5 for the Seahawks.
That.
We just talked to Bob Condotta, who covers the team. They might be without 3 receivers.
Yeah.
If there's no Horton, no Cup. Okay.
And he's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Knows the system, yeah.
Played with Kubiak last year.
That's a low number.
It's a very low number.
Excellent. Pro subscribers have exclusive access to all new AI player prop projections, powered by OptAI, the trusted source behind elite soccer analytics in the UK. Data-driven projections for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. Exclusive NBA player prop projections compared directly to DraftKings lines to help you find value. Check it all out. NBA, NFL. Access it all with a VSiN Pro subscription, vsin.com/subscribe. And we've been running it down how many guys are like 7-1, 8-1, 9-1 in both sports, NBA and the NFL. Brock Purdy is going to miss his 8th game already. Mac Jones is 5-2 in his place. He got the win week 1. He struggled against Seattle, and then he was hurt, came back, aggravated at week 4. They lost to Jacksonville. 4 turnovers in that game. Purdy had a couple picks. And we'll see as we get closer to game time if he'll be able to back up Mac Jones. This is wild.
I don't think anybody in the world would have guessed he was going to miss this much time.
You don't get him.
When he went down.
Big toe injury.
Yeah, I'll tell you, though.
No Pearsall again.
What is the narrative around the 49ers if they win this game? Again, if they sweep the Rams in the regular season. To me, it's got to be Shanahan. Like, how do you ignore his resume this year for Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
And then certainly going to be a playoff team because their schedule is, it's not difficult. They have a lot of winnable games coming up yet to the 49ers.
That's right.
I did not.
The other well, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this team to win that many games potentially, like 10, 11 games with this many injuries, did not see that one coming.
Well, also the other one, and I keep bringing it up, but you can't sleep. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win all these games, but what's coming up for Tampa? Patriots, Bills, Rams. There's a lot of cupcakes after that.
All right.
But if you already beat Seattle and you already beat the 49ers, all the injuries they've had, and I still see Mayfield's right there with Darnold, and Bowles was way down the list for Coach of the Year.
We'll talk to you Sunday morning on the Tailgate Show, 9 a.m. Eastern. Stay tuned. Matt Youmans next with the Friday Football Invitational for 3 hours into a great edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast. Good luck this weekend.